LiveStream.com. We are live. Hi guys, thanks for tuning in, and sorry about the delay this week. I'm going to explain everything in a few minutes. Sorry about all the shadows I've literally had, and sorry about all the pings and bongs going on in the background. But as you can see, workshop is still a complete bomb site. Just everything going on. We've had the VAT return this week, so we've been steaming ahead with that. That's all done, and that will be paid in a few days' time. What a week! It's just been non-stop this week. So today I had a job on where I've got to take out a new laptop to one of my customers. Really good customer actually, and somebody who I genuinely like. Funny, do you know, we didn't get off to the best start, but since then we've got over the little initial. We had a bit of a, a bit of a thing, as you do in small business. Sometimes you can't get on with everybody, and sometimes you do just have to say, "Whoa, hang on a minute, I'm a contractor here. You need to, whatever." And it was a bit on both sides, and I can see his point of view, and he could see mine. And now we get on great, and I will go out my way for him because he's a nice guy, a genuinely nice guy. So anyway, I'm taking his new laptop out, and so this guy travels around a lot. I look after his main site, which is near me, hence why I look after it. And he has various other sites. Now today he was up in Derby, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours from me, and said to him, "Look, no problem. I will crack on, get an early start." So I was up at 6 this morning, get ready, because I'm one of the... Oh, sorry, another bing and bong going on. See, I'm not prepared this week. This is all flying by the seat of your pants. Anyway, so up at 6. I can't... I'm one of these people that I have to get ready in the morning. I don't know. I just can't physically wake up until I hit the shower and get ready and get myself sorted out. Seriously, let me just turn this off, guys. Bum, bum, bum. Quiet. Sorry. We'll text in a bit. Okay, so I'm literally just about to walk out the door, laptop in hand, phone goes. WhatsApp, exactly what that noise was just then. So pick the phone up, look at it. Our house has been broken into. Oh, God. That was the message from my partner. Now, I should explain, my partner's in the process of moving. She's got a house in one area for sale, and she's already bought another house in another area, and she's in the process of moving stuff. So we got the houses are both kind of half full at the minute. Some's got, we're moving her stuff about. So we got this message this morning. I got the message this morning from my partner because we don't live together. That's another story. I'll go into that another time. I haven't got time. I've only got I don't want to make this a 10-hour podcast. So anyway, she texted me and said, "Look, the house has been broken into. It's in Northamptonshire. House has been broken into. The neighbours just text me." Oh, so she forwarded me the neighbour's text, and it said, when I read it, it actually, she in her panic, she'd not quite read it properly, which is fine. It turned out it was actually the neighbour's house that somebody had attempted to break in. So tonight we had to go to work. I had to go and get this laptop in. So I've then got a 2-hour drive up to Derby and put this laptop in. And the guy's really happy with it. It was a Dell Inspiron 1500 series, the new i7 one. Oh, that's a nice machine. All aluminium, all polished aluminium. Oh, it looks stunning. So it's all metal cased. The keyboard has got metallicized keys that light up. Oh, cracking bit of kit that. I might have to think about one of them. So off we go. We do our jobs. We come back tonight. We had to go straight to the other house, the empty house, because the first thing I did when my partner bought the house, I said, "Look, if you're not going to be in there, the first thing we're going to do is put CCTV all the way around it because we're not going to be there. We want that to be monitored, so we put broadband in and da-da-da-da-da." So we went over there tonight, and bearing in mind we've barely met our neighbours. We've literally been moving boxes in, so we've met them. We know their names, but we haven't. This is the first time we've really spoken to them properly. So we go there, and the first thing I do is, oh, well, we've got CCTV. We might have caught something on our CCTV. So we go there and we have a chat to the neighbour, and she told us the time and stuff. We checked the cameras, and sure enough, we did. So we've actually managed to catch the two people, or the people in the act of what they were doing. On top of that, we also managed to catch, for whatever reason, they drove just before this happened. They drove their car in, and we caught the registration on our cameras. So we did a quick MOT check. It's not MOT'd, but it's a genuine license plate, and it come back. When I saw the car, I went, oh, that's a da-da-da-da-da. And sure enough, we checked it, and it come back as that as well. So the same model that I'd said initially. So obviously they're not the sharpest tools in the box, because they've used their own car and pulled up on a drive with cameras. So yeah, good job, guys. So what's going on in the workshop this week? Well, you know about the laptop. We've just had some stuff, big order drop for Windows 10. Not an upgrade this time. Well, it is. It's replacement. So we're actually pulling out a network that wasn't under our control, and we're putting in a new network, a fully, completely, utterly new network, cabling, switches, routers, machines, workstations, the lot. So that order dropped this morning. I've just placed the orders to our suppliers for all that stuff. That will be in the next few days. So I might actually do a little video on that, because it's a fairly straightforward upgrade and there's no server involved. So it's going to be just peer-to-peer effectively. So that might be a good one to do a little video on. And I'm sure if I offer them a little, 5% off if I can film it, I'm sure they'll be down for that, I think. So that's pretty good. I did say that this week I was going to be upgrading a PC on LiveStream, and I apologise, but I pulled the PC apart. It's oops. It was this one here. As you can see, it's now empty, because when we looked at it, it was going to be a Windows 10 upgrade, and the plan was that we were going to stick some memory and a hard drive in and then do the Windows 10 installation. But it turns out that the processor in it was an Intel Pentium, and it was a modern. It was a 7. It was the board would support an i5, so it was a 775 socket. But to replace the processor, the memory, the hard disk, and he wanted a video card as well, and a new power supply to drive the video card, because it only had a 300-watt power supply in it. The cost just wasn't worth it. So we're going to bung. He's actually going to run on a laptop. He bought himself an i7 laptop, not the one I delivered this morning. This is another guy. So he's going to run on that. So that machine's been stripped, and we've harvested some parts out of it, but to be honest, there's very little we could use out of there. So I've got another machine that I've got to build, because we need one for our accounts lady, because we've got a new accounts lady starting, and she needs an endpoint to go in here so she can access our systems. So that's got to be built. I will do that. I'm going to do a full video on that. I've got all of the parts for that. It's going to be a Core i5. It's got a GeForce graphics card in, because it's going to be dual use. I'm going to stick it over that side, so I might actually do some live streaming from that side just for a change. That's going to go in over there. I've got all the bits. I've got the GeForce graphics card that dropped a little while ago, about a week ago. And that's just got to go in literally over there. And then I'll put, instead of having the dual camera set up here, which I'm not really using because the GoPro's a bit, this one tends to lock up. Could have a rant about GoPro in a minute. Oh God, what a shower. So I can put the other Razor card over there, the Ripsaw Razor over there, the other one, and then when I get a reliable GoPro or the DSLR over there, we can put it in and we can do a bit of a live stream over there. So yeah, that's pretty much what's going on in our lives at the moment. I've got another crappy old machine down there, which, I mean, that's not even an Intel chip in that one. It's an Athlon. Athlon. So that's got to go. That's a shame, because that was actually, I might use that case actually, because it's quite nice. I've been having a lot of, I don't know if you guys are in the industry, and I think some of you might be. I've been having a lot of customers. A lot of customers really like the idea of upgrading instead of buying new equipment. They like to upgrade because it means there's less going into landfill. And sometimes we'll reuse, power supply, DVD, CD-ROM drive, God, DVD rewriters and things like that we can reuse. A lot of my customers have had SSD upgrades, so they can be reused. And oftentimes the processor will run Windows 10. So, you know, mainboard, and it's just RAM and... No, forget that. Even when the processor's rubbish, we can buy... we bought some AMD stuff recently, the Ryzen 3. I know it's an old processor, but the Ryzen 3 will run Windows 10 with an SSD and enough RAM. It runs it perfect for an office. So we've been doing them, and we've been getting these, the board and processor and the RAM, for 179 quid through Amazon. Round about that mark. It fluctuates. Sometimes it's 200 and something, sometimes it's 180, sometimes it fluctuates. So we've been getting these, and they've been doing a great job. So instead of chucking away the whole box, that you've got this big steel box, you've got the power supply, you've got the DVD drive, you've got the SSD drive, instead of throwing all that away, we just replace the board and processor and put Windows 10 on it. And certainly that means you can reuse the Windows 7 Pro sticker that's on the case to install Windows 10. Everyone's happy. It is a genuine upgrade. The Microsoft Windows 10 activates because it's never been activated with the Windows 7 key. Great time to do it. Just recently, I've had a lot of people say, oh, we don't want the old cases. We want new. Everything's got to look new. So they're just upgrading for the sake of upgrading. And I'm trying to discourage that as much as I can, because I think we've got to really... Sorry, I've got something ramming me toast in. I think we've got to try and minimise landfill, haven't we? That's pretty much the name of the game these days. So I'm trying to push customers more into the upgrade route and trying to keep things going that way. And I mean, to be honest, we don't make any... The money difference in it for us is very little. In fact, we make less off the upgrades than we do off a full system. I don't really care. As long as we're earning something, it doesn't really matter what we earn. Just a sec. Oh, golly gosh. Do you know what it is? I changed my vape, and I've gone from... I've vaped this stuff, Charlie's Chalk Dust, for those that are interested. It's Campfire. And I've vaped that for a long time now. And I've just gone... Fancied a change, so I bought some of this. It's a bit cheap and nasty. And oh, she kicks. So I thought... Where was I going? I've lost everything. Lost the train of thought now. Lost the will to live. Yeah, upgrades. So we don't make as much of an upgrade. I don't care. As long as we make something, I really don't care. We make our bread and butter money from our contracts. Everyone knows that. We make... The one thing I've found with small business is that the more honest you are, the better the relationship is with the customers. To the point now, I actually break down on with all my customers. This is the cost of the equipment. This is the cost of the labour. We stopped putting markup on equipment for various reasons. So if we buy it, whatever we buy it in at is what we sell it at, and we make our money purely on the labour. We put our labour rate up, and it's about to go up again. Sorry, customers, if you're watching. Bit of bad news for you. I should have sugarcoated that. But we'd rather be honest and say, look, we're charging... Well, I'll tell you, we charge 65 quid an hour. That's what we charge. That's going up to 75 quid an hour. Not groundbreaking, is it? So we'd rather do that than charge less. Because some people... the place I used to work used to charge... Well, it was more than me. Just bear with me a sec. I'm going to just go and sort myself out and get rid of this tickle in my throat. Just 2 secs. Okay. So yeah, we decided not to mark up our products because, in the interest of being honest with our customers, what we were seeing was we'd get an inquiry. So somebody would come to us and say, I would like an Epson workforce printer, and it's got to have this, 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 and this. And you'd go away and say to the customer, okay, well, that's a workforce 8750, whatever it is. And they'd come back, you give them a price and a lead time and all the other stuff, all the other good stuff that they conceivably would need. And they'd invariably come back to us and they would say, that's fine, but we found it on Google for 10 quid less or 20 quid less or whatever it was. Well, that's fine. I don't care. Buy it from, Joe Blogs down the road. We're not interested in box shifting. We never have been interested in box shifting, stock management. Buy it where you want. We'll fit it for you. It's fine. Now, where was I going with that? Yeah, so we just found it better. So now what we do is we do all that legwork for the customer and we find them a good price. And normally we can beat Amazon a little bit, even if it's pence. Some people will go for it. So we do that legwork, but we don't put any markup on it anymore. And we're completely flat out with the customer. This is what the hardware costs, and it's going to take us an hour. That's 75 quid, or it's going to take us half an hour. Still 75 quid. We charge per the hour, and that seems to be going down quite well. Because we can say, well, that's fine. If you don't want to buy the hardware from us, absolutely fine with that. But we are still going to charge you 75 quid, 65 quid an hour. Put it in. Now, what I do, which is, I don't know if it's not sneaky. It rubs me up a little bit. I don't quite like the idea of it. If they buy it somewhere else, I won't say to them that's going to take 2 hours. And we'll charge you 150 quid plus that. What I say to them is it will take about 2 hours. And sometimes if it goes over into 2.5, 3 hours, we charge them the 3 hours. Well, sorry, it went over because of this, this and this. And therefore it's actually a bit more. It's 210 quid. If they buy it from us, I will say, well, that's going to take 2 hours. We will bill you for 2 hours. And even if it takes us 4, we bill for 2. So it's a bit of a win-win for the customer. And some people have realised it, others, they don't get it. But that's fine. That's just small business. But I've found with being honest with people, the second you're honest, it just seems to be, I don't know, they realise that you're not, I don't take people for a ride and I don't take the mick out of them. I don't, if a job takes 2 hours, it takes 2 hours. I'm not going to make it last longer. It's just the length of time it takes me to do it. So, and once people realise that, I tend to get a bit more respect on site. Plus, people know me now. And I went to one site. It's just reminded me about being honest. And I was working on it. It was a proxy server. I mean, that's going back a bit, isn't it? Proxy server. It was on NT4. Was it not NT? What was the operating system? Yeah, was it Windows NT? Windows NT, anyway. And it was a proxy server, and I basically shut the proxy down. So all the internet access in the building went gone. And this bloke come out of his office, who's turned the bloody internet off, what's going on, bloody engineer. So I walked out, and literally, I mean, this guy was a bodybuilder. He was like... So I walked out and said, it was me, I did it, I'm really proud of it, I did it, I turned your proxy off, it's back on, it'll be up in 3 minutes. And he just, okay, it's fine. Now we know what's going on. Absolutely fine. It's under control. So I found it's much better to be honest. Since that point, I've always been honest with people. So it's just, anyway, just an interesting side point. I'm going to show you something. So last week, I also said that I wanted to get into some B-roll. And for those of you that don't know what B-roll is, let me just break it down for you real quick. So you've got your A-roll, which is this bit, me talking to you. That's the A-roll of film, of the body of the YouTube's works. And there's something called B-roll. Now, B-roll is the other bits in between. So when you do a normal video, You've got the bit where I'm talking, or the bit where someone's talking, and then you've got the other bit, which is just the product images and a bit of background music and everything else that's going on. Now, I've never done that. I've never even tried, not done anything. I've just decided to try it. So I'm going to show you the results. And it was the first time I've done it, so it ain't great. Let me pop it on for you now. He says, unable to find his button because he moved it. Let me click it on here. So here we go. This is my B-roll. Roll VT. So what do you reckon? That was all right, wasn't it? So I'm getting into this a bit more. I want to say cinematic, but it's not cinematic. That's the wrong word. A bit more creative. Creative, that's the word. Oh, we did have a viewer, but he's buggered off. Never mind. Bye. Hello and bye. If you are watching, hi, welcome to the show. I'm Rupert. Should have said that at the beginning. That might have been a good start to a live stream. Hi, I'm Rupert. I'm your host. So yeah, that was all right. So I'm trying to get a bit more B-roll done, and that clip, so what was it? I can't remember how long it was, about 15 seconds. That took me an hour and a bit to sort of film it all, and then about 2 hours editing to get it to that stage for 15 seconds. And I look at some of the stuff that some of the other YouTubers are doing, and I'm thinking Pete McKinnon, and there's a couple of others. Pete McKinnon, definitely. They must just spend their entire lives editing video. I mean, I just can't do it. But I'm trying really hard to actually get down and do some real work and do some real YouTubing. One of those things. Yeah. So the other thing this week that I did have a chance to do while I was doing my B-roll, because I thought, God, oh, I've got an idea. I've got this wicked idea. I could, oh, if I had a drone, I could do this. So I looked up the regulations, and the UK's changed its regulations. And oh my God, has it changed its regulations? Jeez. So there's now this whole barrage of things that if you want to fly a drone, a decent drone, I'm not saying they're not decent when they're teeny tiny, but you want something, a bit of wind, you know, a bit resistant to the wind, don't you? So I looked it up, and anything over 250 grams, up to 20 kilos, for non-commercial, you have to pass a test set by the CAA. So I've read all the reading stuff. It didn't take me that long. I flick through it. I used to be in the Air Cadets, so I've got a grounding of airfields and air operations and things like that, and the theory of flight. So I looked at the safety stuff because that's always good to read through, and there's going to be specific rules. And I thought this test is going to be largely on the safety aspect, so the heights, you know, the altitude you can fly, where you can fly, and things like that. It costs £9 to do the exam online from the CAA website. So I thought, well, what the hell, £9, let's do it. So I put me £9 in, and up popped the test. Did the test. In fact, you do the test first, and then you pay your £9 to get your bit of paper. I passed with 96%, which I thought, well, that's not bad for a first attempt, not reading the material properly. So I thought, well, now I've gone that far, I might as well pay the £9. And I've got my official drone, what do they call it? Non-commercial drone pilot's license. It's got some limitations on there. Take a swig of that. Hey, my mate. Oh, sign into chat. Oh, hang on. You have to give me a sec, mate. I'm just logging in. Oh, why am I logged in? What? Oh, something's gone. Mate, it's gone wonky donkey. You'll have to bear with. Well planned, this is. Right. Oh, I'm signed in. Oh, gol. Fish hooks. Right, there we go. Bump. Open web browser. I could just talk to you, couldn't I? What am I doing? I could just say. So the chap in the chat is Ian. He's one of my oldest mates. He's a security guy. He's a Cisco guy. I'm gonna get him on the show. I'm determined to get him on there. We call him Badger. So when he comes on the show, Badger, Badger, Badger. So yeah, I went on the CIA website. I did the test, read some shit, did the test, passed the test quite well. Paid me £9 and I've got my drone pilot's license. So we can only fly up to 400 feet. Well, that's all right. Joys of live TV, mate. You don't know the half of it. I'm an hour late tonight, and we've had all sorts of fun and games at the other house. So yeah, long story, but we're okay. They didn't touch our house. They didn't really touch next door either. But there was some activity that was a bit dodge. So anyway, we're all sorted. So I've got my drone pilot's license. I've also, so we can only fly up to 400 feet. We can only fly 50 meters away from buildings, cars, people, rodents, you know, a whole list of other stuff. And 150 meters from crowds. And they define a crowd as a bunch of morons greater in number than 1,000. So that's our limitations. Apart from that, it's a free for all. So I've been looking at, what's it called? A DJI Mavic Mini. I know that's just under the threshold, 249 grams. There's another one, but there's a massive jump in price. And I mean, I do this. What am I going to use a drone for, really? I'm going to use it for a few outings, bit of cinematic B-roll and that. I'm hoping to do a bit more of that, by the way. So anyway, this drone is 450 quid, which it's got a 2.7K camera on, and the footage is stunning from it. I have looked at some footage. I've got some, it's not raw, but I've got it on a card. I can't show it because it belongs to someone else. But the footage is really good, really stable, and it seems to cope all right in wind. I've seen it fly in 20 km/h wind, and it was fine. So I think I'm just waiting for some people to pay their bills. And you know who you are. So if you're watching, pay your bills and I can buy a new toy. So yeah, I think we'll have a Mavic Mini, a Mavic. Is it Mavic? Mavic? I'm going to say Mavic. That sounds better. Sounds more like Maverick. But it's a Mavic. Oh, God. Oh, damn tongue tangulations tonight. It's because my mate's watching me. I'm all nervous now. Oh. So, a Mavic Mini. And it's only, you know, it's teeny tiny. You can fit it in the GoPro bag, which is another good point. It's got the camera built into it, and the camera's on a gimbal, and it's all vibration reduction stuff. And you can point the camera, you can have your drone, and then you can move the camera as well. It's got FPV stuff on the mobile phone handset, 2 kilometer range, which people have tested and said it rocks. GPS, blah, 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 all these sensors. You can fly it indoors. It knows where it can and can't fly with maps that it downloads online. And it's none of this. You remember when drones first come out, you had to fiddle with them and you had to sort of set them up and shake them and turn them upside down and stand on one leg and throw it in the air. All that, none of that. You just literally power it up, pair it to your phone, take off, and then you've got some joysticks that control, you know, up and down, left and right, yawing, turning, spinning, and the camera. And it's dead easy to use. The go to home button works, does what it says on the tin. And you can slow the drone. So when you're flying this drone and you're going, just call flaming wreckage and be done with it. Yeah, that sounds about right. So you can fly this thing in what's called the sports mode, and it does about, I think it said 20 km/h. So it's not massively fast, but fast enough. But when you come to do your footage, you can put it into cinematic mode. And what that does is it slows the movements of the drone down to something that's suitable for the camera. It's a really neat bit of kit. I think I'm 90% sure I'm going to be ordering one. I'm hoping my partner's not also watching, because if she is, she'll have a fit, because I've just told her how much it was. But I think we'll get one, and then perhaps we'll have some cinematic footage. What do you guys reckon? I was going to go somewhere else now. What was it? Yeah, passing the drone test, done the B-roll. Ian, did you see the B-roll? Just wait for him to respond, you know. He's probably gone off to make tea. Just here for effect, I reckon. Well, I'm going to show you the B-roll again anyway, because it's so cool. Where was it? Right. Yeah, so that was our B-roll. So a bit of drone footage. I mean, obviously not drone footage of making coffee. I could do that. That might be fun, actually. I might give that a crack. So that's pretty much me for this week, to be honest. I've just been a busy day. Been up to Stoke today. So, not Stoke, Derby. Been up to Derby. So that's about it, really. We've got a pile of wreckage down there. Big pile of wreckage. Chap's got a new laptop. He's happy. He might buy a drone. Done the B-roll. Yeah, that's it. So coming up in next week's live stream. What do you guys want to see next week? I have got this to do, and I know it's. Can you recognise? Yeah, Draytech. But look at it. Look how abused it is. That used to be white. Let me put something white against it, and you can see what colour it is now. Whoa! It's got a suntan. So I thought it'd be cool to rip this apart and have a look at it. It still works. And then I might do a Draytech series. So how to configure them, the VPN stuff on them, and the bits and bobs in them. Because some people struggle with that stuff. So we could do a few instructional videos on that. I might put those on the other channel. Because that's been a bit forlorn at the minute. We've got one video on there. It's got 2,000 likes. Not likes, 2,000 views. It's got a few likes though. So... yeah, be about right. Do you know what they do? This thing when you buy a drone and you buy it direct from DJI, they do this thing called DJI refresh, and basically when you plow it into a lake or into a building or something, you just sweep it up, put it in a box, and send it back, and they send you a new one. It's an extra 35 quid, so I think we'll go for that. Because I'm bound to stack it into something. It'd be like a Scud missile. It will come out of the box and into a wall. Probably just go through the ceiling. But yeah, so that's that. So we'll do a Draytech series. I'm still getting to grips with the Canon. I mean, I've used Nikons all my life, and I bought a Canon. It's like learning to drive again when everything's changed places. So I'm still getting to grips with that. It's a really cool camera though. I did shoot some of that B-roll on it, just to say I did. Probably why it took me so long. Oh, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. So next week I'm going to buy a new Nikon. The Canon's really good, so we're going to get to grips with that. We're going to do some more stuff with that. GoPro, I'm still waiting for your media mod. You promised it in October, November, December, January, February. We're now nearly in March and we still haven't got it. Where is it? Get it sorted. I'll just bring Ian up to speed. I'll bring everyone up to speed. I bought the Hero 8 Black. We've got a stack of these Hero 7s. I'm using one to film this. I've got another one here. We've got another one somewhere else. And I bought Hero 8 Blacks to replace them all. And got them out of the box. Yeah, great. We took some video with it. Great. And then we opened the side door because we use the HDMI on the Hero 7s. There's a little HDMI connector in there somewhere. The Hero 8 doesn't have it. They put it into this media mod, which is this abortion of crap that you have to slide the camera into. And then it gives the GoPro Hero 8 an HDMI socket, an external microphone and something else. And they've got the cameras out. The camera's great. I mean, the camera's really good. Much better than... a little better than the Hero 7. The Hyper Smooth is really good on the bike. But they just don't seem to be able to get this media mod produced. So there's some issue with it because they keep promising 6 months now nearly. And it's still not available. You still can't get the damn thing. So if anyone at GoPro is watching, for God's sake, pull your fingers out, because the first thing I'm going to do is, once I've got a DJI drone, I'm going to buy a DJI camera. And if it's as good as the GoPros, these are out the door. We'll get a load of them in, because, you know, come on. Anyway, guys, that's it. So next week we'll do something, and just trying to think what we can do next week. Let's do the Draytech. Let's pull the Draytech apart on LiveStream. I can definitely do that. I've got it here. So we'll rip a Draytech apart and see what it takes to make it go pop. That might be fun. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again next week. Ian, thanks for watching, mate. Really appreciate that. That's awesome. Hopefully you'll come back next week, where I will be on time next week. Come hell or high water, I will be here at 7:30. So I don't care if the world freezes, I am still going to be here. Thanks, guys. Good night. Catch you next time.